Welcome back again to Spotlight, where we feature the University of Central Arkansas's College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. I'm Donna Lampkin-Stevens. I'm joined today by my old friend, Dr. Gayle Seymour.
Don't say old, just say friend.
Long time friend. Dr. Gayle Seymour, who is the Associate Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, and a Professor of Art History. So welcome, Gayle, back. We've done this a long time, haven't we?
I asked you the other day, and I don't even think you can count that high.
I don't either. I don't. So because we've had a long hiatus, thanks to COVID, let's talk. Well, today we're going to talk about the Artist in Residence program, but let's go to the very beginning. What is this? Because I bet we have some viewers who don't know what that is.
Well, viewers might be interested to know that this is our 21st year of having an Artist in Residence program at the University of Central Arkansas. It is remarkable. So the genius in this program is that all of our students pay an arts fee, not just the arts students, but every student on campus. With that money, and it's a sizable amount, we bring artists of all kinds, visual artists, performing artists, writers, filmmakers, you name it. They come to campus, they perform or exhibit, they do master classes with students, they might have lunch with students, you name it, any kind of thing we can think of that puts our students up close and personal with artists of significance. And I think what students find more than anything is that they're just people, just like them. And that they started off, you know, just like them at a beginner's level, and that it's possible to actually live an artistic life. And so I think it's really a significant thing that we do here at UCA. To my knowledge, no other university in the state or the region has anything like this.
Does this go back to Wynne Thompson?
I don't know. I was trying to think.
It seems like I recall that when he was president of the university, he instituted this under the old College of Fine Arts and Communication.
It wouldn't surprise me. I know that his very first memo when he got to campus was, why isn't there any public art on this campus?
Really?
That was his first memo that he issued.
I bet.
So it doesn't surprise me what you're saying.
So it's the 21st year, but this year and last have been affected by COVID.
Right.
So what precautions are being taken, and how do you plan something like this in this era?
First let me just tell you that we did have a residency season last year, despite all of the crazy, and we even managed to have some face-to-face residencies, and so that was pretty remarkable. What we had to do, however, was to basically move all of our performing residencies to this year. So this is one reason when we talk about the schedule, we've got so much going on. But I think more importantly really is to reassure audiences this year that we are making it as safe as it can possibly be. I've gone to a lot of Zoom meetings over the last year. Performing arts in particular are really trying to figure out how to get people back into, back into the theater, back into the concert hall. And so I just want to reassure people who want to come to these events that we have taken every precaution possible. So of course at UCA, any indoor event, masks are required currently, and it's a good idea to have them anyway. If you think about a space like this one that we're in, Reynolds Performance Hall, there's a lot of space between the artist and the audience, and always this fear of aerosols and airborne droplets, especially with singers. So for instance, we've got Cecilia Lopez, this opera singer, coming, and it's just going to be one singer. It's not going to be a whole chorus of singers. So those are some of the decisions we really had to make, trying to figure out how can we make all of this happen. The other thing that we've done to really help mitigate the COVID issue is to have a lot of events outdoors. So for instance, the student event for these musicians we typically have in the recital hall, but we've moved 2 of them to the amphitheater, just in front of the student center, so we can again really help people feel safe and secure. And it's really important because we want people to come and we want people to experience the live event. We've all been on Zoom, we've all looked at stuff in a virtual way, and it's just not the same.
No. So students pay a fee, so everything is free to students.
That's correct.
And how do they go
there's
about
no tickets required or anything, so they don't have to worry about that. All they have to do is show up.
And part of the whole idea behind this is that there's a public performance for every residency.
Right.
So those are open to anybody.
That's correct.
Again, no tickets.
No
free.
tickets, even in rentals, they just come, and you know, there's plenty of room here, lots of good social distancing.
So how do students get involved? How do we make this happen for them?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, the whole way we choose these artists in the first place is to work carefully with our faculty, because we really try to tie the residencies to the curriculum. What are students learning in their classes? So that's one way to get students involved, because you know, they come because their professor told them to, or there's extra credit, or whatever it is, and all of those things are important. The other way that we're getting students involved, and this is something relatively new, I think it was available last year, but you know, last year was kind of not a year, but we have this thing at UCA called Cub Connect, and it's one word. Cub Connect allows me to advertise all of these events to students, and they can go on Cub Connect and just say, hey, I wonder what is happening in the arts this week. They can find our events, they can RSVP to them, so that will mean they will receive an email reminder to go to the event. They also can download an event pass, which is a QR code that they save on their phone. It's the same QR code for every event. They don't need a new one for each event. And then when they come, we will scan them in using our cell phones, a few of us, and we'll have a sign that says Cub Connect here. And that way, the university can keep track of events that they are attending. And we have something called Bear Experience, and it's sort of an additional kind of a transcript that students will receive that will reflect all of these extracurricular activities that they've been involved in.
Because employers are looking for that.
They are looking for that. And not only that, but I can, if a faculty member emails me, I can send them the list of attendees, and that way if they're offering extra credit or something like that, I can help in that process of sort of certifying who was at the event.
That's great.
It is great.
Yeah,
it's really great. You know, we haven't had anything like this.
We didn't use this last year.
Well, like I say, I think it was around last year. I didn't use it. No.
Okay.
So this is our first year to use it.
That's a good idea.
And it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So are we ready to dive into the schedule?
Let's do it.
Okay. So as we speak, well, we've missed one.
Well, that's right. One has already happened.
Yes.
Lily Cunin has already been here. She is a visual artist whose work was part of the Baum Gallery's 25th anniversary exhibit. She is a graduate of UCA. She was a former student of mine, and so she sort of hit it big, and so we featured her in this exhibit.
Love it.
She did a fun workshop with students, and I think some community members even came. She does this whole project with mail art. And I don't know exactly.
M-A-I-L.
M-A-I-L, that kind of mail. And it was this postcard project. And students came and they made these postcards, and I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't stay for the whole event, but I think they had a really good time.
I love that. I love that. And this week,
yes,
we have two here, right?
Right. This week we've got Cecilia Lopez and Nathan Salazar. Cecilia Lopez is an opera star, a soprano. She is, let's see, what is she? She is, I've got my notes here. She is one of 25 rising stars that have been named as the sort of up-and-coming voices to watch. She is going to be spectacular. And again, this whole business of being in the presence of an opera singer, the audience will marvel at the fact that she can stand on this stage without a microphone, and everyone will be able to hear her. It's really pretty remarkable. I've seen her program. She's got some really exciting music that she'll be performing. The whole half of her performance will be in Spanish, and I think it's going to be really spectacular in terms of a lot of composers that you not only have never heard of, but certainly have never heard performed. And I think it's going to be really exciting.
Now, Gayle, this is a way for us to branch out into our new college, Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. So talk about that collaboration.
Exactly. You know, the artists who come have to be artists. But that doesn't mean that we can't connect with all the different disciplines in our college. So for instance, with Cecilia Lopez, like you say, we're working with the triple L&C, the languages department, And Cecilia Lopez is going to be doing an entire class with them, I think in Spanish.
Great.
And talking about the life of an artist and how all of that works. And I hope to see a number of those students, I'm sure we will, at the concerts and at an event that she's doing today at X period out in the amphitheater. So that's why it's sort of a dream, really, to have this large college, because we have so many ways that all of the different departments and schools can really work together and be excited about what's going on.
And Nathan Salazar is the accompanist.
He is, but he is what is known as a collaborative pianist. So that means he's not only the accompanist, he is the coach.
Oh,
and this is a really special kind of a thing. These collaborative pianists really are essential in helping an artist like Cecilia Lopez to really be her best and really fine-tune some of the small passages or things to make them even, more sparkling.
And their public concert is
Friday night,
September 10th.
That's right, at 7:30 p.m. in Reynolds Performance Hall.
Okay, free and open to the public.
Right.
Okay. All right, what's up next?
Well, after that, we've got Joey Tartell. And Joey Tartell is a trumpeter. Joey Tartell is one of these people who has played with everybody. He was part of Maynard Ferguson. He's toured the world, the U.S., Australia, Asia, and Europe. He's been part of the U.S. Army Jazz Ambassadors, part of the Glenn Miller Orchestra. He's toured with Boston Brass and Canadian Brass. So I think he's going to be really kind of exciting to see. One thing that I'm excited about, I've been working with the people who run KABF Radio in Little Rock. My friend John Kane is the founder of that. He's, 85 or 6 or something? And so they do a jazz program on that radio station, and so I'm hoping to have some interviews that will go on KABF Radio. So I think that's going to be really exciting.
And he is here September 20th through 23rd.
That's correct.
It is a busy September.
It is a busy September. It is a busy September. And this is the thing. These things don't just happen magically. There's lots of moving parts and lots of people that make it all happen. So it's a little bit of a fingers crossed in terms of, just having these things actually happen is pretty remarkable.
Yes. And then we move from music to creative writing.
Creative writing. We've got Marita Golden coming September 28th and 29th. She is a superstar in the world of fiction and nonfiction. She's written 17 books. She's not only an author, but she is a true mentor teacher. That's really, I think, her passion. She is the founder of the Hurston Wright Foundation, which serves as a resource for African American writers. And she, by the way, has a brand new book coming out October the 12th. So she will be here right before that. And she's actually sent me the pre-publication copy. I've seen the book, but I'm sworn to secrecy. But I bet you anything at her reading that she's doing that she will talk quite a bit about this.
Sure.
Her new book is called The Strong Black Woman.
Excellent, very timely. And then in October, we start with the Avalos Quartet.
Yeah, the Avalos Quartet. I wondered and wondered what an Avalos is and scoured the internet to see if this is somebody's name or what. And finally, in a little interview that I discovered, it's just a word that they made up. And they liked the sound of it. I thought, well, that's kind of exciting. The Avalos Quartet is a young quartet. They're still actually in school. They're still graduate students. They're at the University of Colorado Boulder. They are another diverse group comprising Black and Latinx communities. The cellist Pedro Sanchez is from Venezuela. One of the violins, Ruben Kebide, is from Ethiopia. The violist is Amy McElnulty. She is an Argentinian American, and Tiani Butts, another violinist, is an African American. And their real goal, like so many of the things that we're trying to do this year, is to really feature diverse artists. And for them, they're going to be playing the music of diverse musicians and composers. So I think it's going to be an exciting one, and especially since they're so young, I think students will really relate to them.
Oh yeah, that's different than what we've had.
Yeah, and you know, before we leave this topic, and I need to get my notes out here, I just wondered to myself, how many string quartets we've had over the last so many years.
A lot.
It's really impressive. And people need to be impressed by this, frankly. We've had the St. Lawrence, the American String Quartet, the Ying Quartet, the Borromeo, the Cerruti, the Harrington Quartet, the Lydian, and last year, despite COVID, we had the Callisto Quartet. And again, for people who may not think they're into string quartets, you need to realize that you've got 4 musicians sitting next to each other without a conductor. Without someone saying, okay, go. And somehow or other, these artists really have to learn that art of working together as this one cohesive group. And it's really a fascinating thing, if nothing else, just to see how they conduct business. It is really remarkable.
Yeah. And then we have 2 more scheduled in October, but we have an asterisk by them.
Right. We've got Allison Newcomb, who is a lighting designer, and we're not entirely sure she's still going to be able to come. She's gotten some big job, and so her schedule has sort of changed. So we've got our fingers crossed with her. The other artist that is a little bit of a no is Serge Jolimo. And Serge Jolimo is a metal artist from Haiti. And unfortunately, he's having visa issues with all of the sad political situation, and then followed up by a major earthquake. It's looking more and more like he's not going to be able to make it.
Now, what theater production was Allison going to, or may Allison be involved with?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
There is a UCA theater show,
right?
So the show will go on.
Yes, that's right. Well, I guess, I believe so. The presentation is From Up Here is the title of the play, and so we'll see how all of that. We might be able to find another lighting designer who can come in her place.
Talking about all the moving parts.
Talking about all the moving parts, and again, we don't really know what the world is going to be like in October, and so it's a little bit of a leap of faith here.
Yes, and Serge, we think we can reschedule even if he can't come.
I feel confident we can reschedule him, and not only that, this residency was actually proposed by a member of the languages department.
Excellent.
Dr. Okoli was the person, the sponsor for this residency.
Okay.
And she's collaborating with the art department, art and design. And so we had a big event. We had a big metal workshop that was going to go on in Alumni Circle.
Oh yeah.
And it was going to be spectacular. And Serge Jolimo, I don't really think speaks English, so there was going to be translation and all kinds of things, all kinds of complicated things happening.
We need to get him here whenever things allow. Then we move to November, and we start November 2nd through 5th with John Metzger.
John Metzger, who is a percussionist. He'll be brought here by Professor Blake Tyson, who always knows the coolest people in the world and who brings us fantastic residencies. So, you know, this is another jazz artist, and one thing that's exciting in the Department of Music, there is a whole new jazz emphasis, and which I think is great, and I think students have really been wanting that. And so we've got yet another person who's going to come and help that department really do their thing and what they really want to do. And again, for our jazz radio lovers on KABF, we also hope to have this artist featured on the radio.
Excellent. And then we go back to creative writing.
We do.
Tiffany Jackson, November 11th and 12th.
We've got Tiffany Jackson. The minute I say Tiffany Jackson's name, people just kind of go crazy. She's a YA, a young adult writer who is hot, hot, hot. She's also involved, with TV projects and things like that. So I anticipate we are going to have a kind of standing room only situation with her.
Oh, excellent.
And I'm really looking forward to that. In fact, early on when we were planning these residencies, I was at the Department of English's, just their faculty meeting, And I just sort of mentioned Tiffany Jackson's name, and they got super excited, and they changed their books that they were having their students read from whatever, I don't know, to Tiffany Jackson.
Great.
And so that was really exciting to, again, to sort of think about how these residencies are important to so many departments, or all departments in our college.
And then we wind up the semester on November 15th through 18th with, gosh, this is a little bit of everything.
Well, Fabiola Jean-Louis is probably, I don't know, I shouldn't say she's my favorite, but I think I'm most excited about her residency.
Paper, textile design, photography, and sculpture.
You name it, she does it all. And Fabiola Jean-Louis is another Haitian-born artist. She lives in New York City. She's very much the hot thing of the moment. She's going to be having a big exhibit opening at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, which is amazing. And her work is so incredible. I think students are just going to be super excited. What she's most famous for are these works where she creates these elaborate, 16th to 18th century costumes, but they're made out of paper. And just the act of putting the model in the paper costume is part of the project, about how fragile history is and our telling of history. She is an artist of color, and the models that she puts in these costumes are also people of color. And so she's really trying to help us understand that when we look at history, we need to be asking where are these faces? Why is everyone just a white face that we see peering out from these portraits of earlier centuries? And so really trying to sort of help us sort of think about that absence in the history of art, and even in today's contemporary art world as well. So once she does these fabulous costumes and gets her models set, she photographs them. She's a spectacular photographer. And so, I don't know, it's going to be really exciting.
That's great. So we have 10 scheduled for the for the fall. Now, Gayle, on a typical year, because you said we've taken over many of the performatives from last year. What would a typical?
We usually have 12 to 15
for the
maybe
year.
For the year. This year we've got 28 artists. Now some of those are part of an ensemble, but still we have 28 artists who will be involved in 71 activities. Now that doesn't include rehearsals and other kinds of things, and certain kinds of classes that are closed, but 71 events that all students on our campus can attend.
Now, for details,
yes.
Tell us where people, as we get closer to these particular residencies, for times, dates, places, where should they go?
They should go to the CAHSS website, College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. There they will see an Artist in Residence tab, and it'll say Current Residencies. They need to double check that and make sure things are still happening again, whatever COVID might bring. We will be streaming some of these residencies. On the one hand,
from the website,
it'll be yes. Okay. They'll get the link on the website. Okay. It's actually from the college's YouTube channel, and this has been one of the gifts of COVID, is that we have understood new ways to really engage new audiences that we've never had before.
From anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so a number of these, all of the Reynolds performances will be live streamed. The authors will be live streamed. Some of them it's a little bit harder if they're, doing a ceramics workshop or something. But we will have that ability as well. But again, ideally, especially for our students, we really want them to be there in person.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we will have you back in the spring semester, because there will be many more residencies to talk about.
Well, these are kind of the easy ones. The spring residencies have the element of spectacle about a number of them, because that's kind of the thing I'm into. And so stay tuned, they're going to be really exciting.
So Gayle, as we've moved into the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences from the former College of Arts, College of Fine Arts and Communication and Liberal Arts,
right.
What opportunities do you see? We've talked a little bit about this, but what opportunities and what challenges do you see in bringing together these two bodies for the Artist in Residence program?
You know, I think it's just a no-brainer in some ways how these worlds need to be together, especially with these kinds of events. You know, last year when I did my suffrage centennial project, it was so wonderful to do arts events, but then to have political scientists talking about the history of suffrage, and you know, and just different ways that these topics really expand out throughout our college. And we just need to be even more creative and think about ways that we can really do that more and more and more. And it, you know, all of our departments, I'm sure, are art lovers. You don't have to be in the field.
Right, right.
And so I just hope that people, it's just on their radar and they realize how rich this campus is with activities that are going on. And these are just the residencies. This isn't all of the millions of things that are happening in the music department on any, and the art department and theater any given day of the week. So, you know, for me and the kind of work that I love to do, it's just too good to be true to have philosophers and linguists and historians and political scientists and sociologists, archaeologists, all of these people really making anything we do richer.
And speaking of that, we're beginning the process for 2022-23.
That's right.
So I just got the email this morning.
That's right. So, you know, again, these residencies are proposed by faculty, and so they are due November the 15th, and so we'll see what next year brings. I do want to say to faculty, dream big this year, because we, for this next year, we are going to be opening our new building, the new Wingate Center for Fine and Performing Arts. The TV cameras are going to be focused on us, and we need to do some spectacular things.
I bet we can put our heads
I bet
together
we
and
can.
do that. So,
Bet we
Gayle,
can.
thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in January. And join us again next time for Spotlight. Lots going on and lots of exciting, wonderful things to participate in. See you next time.